When you start any project, when you start any vision, any goal, anything that you have to do, before you even start, you got to make sure the wrong people are off the bus, the right people are on the bus, and people are sitting in the right seats on the bus. I think the ultimate probably definition for me when it comes to success is peace. Peace is priceless. And when I have peace, I know there's success. And I take that with every decision I make. I take that with every business deal. I take that with my family. I think peace is my definition of success.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Need to Succeed podcast. And like I always say, what we're trying to do here is have incredible conversations with incredible entrepreneurs and just really understand what is their need to succeed. Because here's the thing, two people can go through the exact same situation. One person decides because of this situation, they can no longer achieve the things that they want to achieve in life. The other person decides because of the exact same situation that they have to go on and achieve absolutely everything that they want to in life. Same situation, different outcome. What is the mindset of the successful entrepreneurs? That is exactly what we look to uncover on this podcast. And today, I have an absolutely incredible guest in that chair. She is the money and mindset mentor. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mrs. Nikki Sutherland.
I'm here.
Should we get the drum rolls going?
Yes, drum rolls.
Did you like that? Did you like that? That was good.
Yeah, I feel energized right now.
I actually felt kind of, when I was doing that, I thought, yeah, you're giving this some energy here.
Yeah,
man.
that was real good energy.
But I had to do it though. Because we were just talking downstairs right before we started. We were talking downstairs and I was asking whether you drink coffee. You said no. I was like, thank goodness, because if you listen, you don't need coffee.
We don't need no coffee over here. No coffee required.
Amazing. Honestly, thank you so much for being here. It's been incredible trying to get you in here. And finally, I'm super, super excited that we're able to make it happen.
Yes, thank you for being persistent. And yes, it's an honor and a privilege to be here in the Need to Succeed podcast. It is definitely an honor to be here. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. So let's get into this because I'm super excited for all the value we're going to give her today. But there's a little secret. We have two set questions. It's a tradition on the podcast.
Yes.
They're going to be the only set questions. Everything else, we're just going to, see where the conversation takes us. But the very first question and the very, very last one as well. So let's go with it. What does success actually mean to you?
I think, I think success is, of course, relative. But it's about being able to spend time with your family, be able to enjoy life, and also make an impact on whatever it is that you've been called to do. And I think the ultimate probably definition for me when it comes to success is peace. Peace is priceless. And when I have peace, I know there's success. And I take that with every decision I make. I take that with every business deal. I take that with my family. So peace. I think peace is my definition of success.
Wow. Like that's wild. Do you know why that's wild to me? Why that's wild? Because I know you're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And I follow your content. And I know you like to enjoy yourself. I can see from that. I'm like, yeah, she just likes to enjoy herself. So even though it's not that surprising, what is surprising is as an entrepreneur, we're trying to chase something, yes, trying to do deals, trying to, accomplish something, be fulfilled in a certain way. Like trying to juxtapose that with peace. Like how do you balance those two things?
Yeah. I think it comes with time. And obviously, I've been in the game now for about 20 years when it comes to like leadership, belief, entrepreneurship. And I think, you mentioned the word about chase. And I think I'm at the time of my life where I don't chase now, I attract. And I think it's very important. You have peace when you attract the right people into your life. You attract the right deals into your life. as opposed to chasing, because when you're chasing, it means it's running away from you. And I believe that, money is coming to me. I believe that the right people are coming to me. I believe that the right deals are coming to me. And anything that isn't necessarily for me will find a way to exit my life.
Jeez.
And that's how I find peace.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Listen, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. Okay, cool. I guess if you have that mindset, then yeah, you're never really concerned.
Yeah.
It's almost a case of something that isn't meant for me is going to get repelled from me.
That's right.
But what is for me, I know I'm attracting it already. So even when you are in the middle of deals, having that mindset will give you peace anyway.
Yes.
But that's such a strong negotiation tool as well.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean you don't work, right? And I want to make that clear. I work. I work hard for what I want. I put, the strategies in place. I have a great team around me. And, I know what it is that I want and I know what I don't want. And so I have a rule, and the rule is adapt, overcome, and win. And so every situation there you may have to, things don't always run straight. But I always say to myself, is this something that's in my control? Can I do something about it? If the answer is yes, then we get it done. If the answer is no, then we let go and leave it to God. So,
wow.
Peace.
Yes, I love that. And that's what the point I was going to make before is that must be such a strong, it's difficult going into a negotiation with someone like that, because it's like, it is what it is sort of thing. Like, this is what I want. I'm willing to be flexible, but ultimately if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But this is what I'm looking for.
That's right. And when you begin to come from a place of peace and you know what it is that you want for your life, you know what it is that you want, you don't come across desperate. And I think desperation opens up a lot of people to, I don't know what the word is, but it opens you up to becoming vulnerable. And I've seen where desperation can take you down a vulnerable place. And so confidence is very important. Clarity is something that is so key to me. We got to be clear about what we're doing. We got to be clear about where we're going. I got to be clear about, what's the situation here, what's going on, to be able to know if it's something I want to do or not.
Yeah.
And once I made a decision, it's done.
Yeah.
Like, I love that word, decide, because the word decide means to kill the alternative, right? So like pesticide, homicide, they all mean to kill. And when you decide to do something, it means that everything else is not an option. You've made a decision to kill the alternative that this is going to happen. So once I've made a decision that I'm going to do something, it's already done.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow. Powerful. I love that. I also explain decision in that way, but the language that you've used, you talk about pesticide, homicide, and all that. I said, okay. I'm gonna have to just steal that from you, Nikki. I'm not gonna lie.
That's all right.
Next time you hear me on the podcast, you start hearing me talk about homicide and pesticides.
give me the credit for the first time. You can have it the rest.
The first time, yes. But absolutely, I love exactly what you said at the start when you spoke about desperation. And I always say this to my students about, the first deal is going to be the hardest. But what people have the propensity to do is to promise everything, to get that deal over the line, because they're desperate to get the deal over the line. But ultimately what it means is you're not able to deliver, which means that first deal might actually be your last, or it might become very difficult for you to get the second deal because you've made too many promises out of desperation. But if you are steadfast in your belief, in your confidence that you can deliver, and that whatever you're offering is going to be of huge value to that person, then ultimately it will come eventually. You just have to be patient and at peace.
I think you're right. And the word desperation sometimes could be seen as like a negative attribute. When you're desperate, you're hungry, but there's desperation, but you don't have to, you don't have to agree to everything in desperate times. And I've been in what we would call a desperate situation. Like, when my baby father left me, I was, pregnant when he left. I had one child already and one on the way. And I felt real vulnerable. But there was some things I still wasn't prepared to do. Do you know what I mean? And so desperation can fuel you, because that desperate time fueled me to seek more. And I think what I see a lot of, especially the new wave of entrepreneurs, because, I'm getting on in life. But the new wave of entrepreneurs, they have a desperation with no no clarity, a desperation with lower morals. And so you can be desperate, which fuels you to seek answers. My desperation fueled me to seek mentorship, fueled me to find a way to get out of my situation, a way that I could see could be a long-term thing. And sometimes I see a lot of people get into things that have no long-term longevity, that get into things that potentially could be damaging to their credibility or even illegal, right? Because desperate times could bring forward desperate measures. So, I think desperation fueled in the right atmosphere with the right energy could be a good thing. I also believe that good is the enemy of great. So if you are desperate sometimes, a desperate person potentially could get better results than someone who is quote unquote good because they're good. You see people that work at 9 to 5, they may get, a good income that allows them to, live a mediocre life or pay their bills, go one holiday a year, and they're good. So that doesn't push them to seek for more. But then you could have somebody who's in a desperate situation. For example, I know a guy who was homeless. And because he was in that desperate situation, he sought knowledge that enabled him to earn more than the person who is actually in that good situation. So desperation isn't necessarily a bad thing as long as it's fueled with mentorship, it's fueled with a real clear strategy. And, it comes from a place of really wanting to succeed. The need to succeed is why we're here, right?
Wow,
you see how I slipped that one in?
Hey, listen, you're dropping some of the stuff. What you said then was like, I wanted to almost stop you, but I'm like, nah, she's in the flow. Let me just let her go. You said good, is
the enemy.
The enemy. That's the word I'm looking for. Good is the enemy of greatness.
Yeah.
I said, raw. That is so true. Because everyone just walking around like average, just doing enough to survive. I was speaking to someone, I was on a live the other day on Instagram, and I was talking about my story and my journey. And I was saying something when I was working for corporate in the city. When people say the system is broken, I'm like, no, the system is not broken. The system is working perfectly fine for the system. It's doing exactly what they want it to be doing. You're the one that's going to have to make a decision to come out of the system, but what they do is they make it just good enough, pay you just enough, where you're like, you're dependent on them. You're good. Things are good. But I'm better than this guy, but my life is, but I'm earning better than, but are you great at where you want to be? Are you where you want to be? Because if you're not, then it doesn't matter how good your situation is, it's stopping you from being great.
That's it.
Right? So, I thought that was really, really powerful. I might take that one as well. You're going
to have to pay me for some of this stuff.
You better start copywriting some of this.
Hey, I'm telling you.
But Nikki, honestly, as you were just talking, I'm looking at her and I'm going, she looks so calm. She looks so peaceful. I see your content, like you're full of life. Like you're really, I don't know what your life was like a year ago, 2 years ago. I don't know, but I've been following you for about a year now. And you just seem really happy, right? And I know you're doing a lot of great things as well. But I want to understand like your journey to get you to that place. Because that place, that's not easy. Listen, it's not an easy place to get to.
Yeah.
Right? I want to get to understand your journey a little bit more and just talk about, your life, your lived experience. So let's just go back to the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Like let's say, Nikki, when you were at school. Like, who were you? What were you like when you were at school?
Oh boy. So I'm the oldest child of 9.
9,
right? Yeah.
Okay.
So from obviously I can remember I've always had this kind of maternal innate feeling to provide for my younger siblings, to be that one that is there for my mom as well. As a single mom, she did the best she could, but I knew that there was a need that needed to be filled. So I took that role on. I got a part-time job very young. I think I was like 13. I was working part-time, going to school. It's funny because the other day I said this on my Instagram. I said the whole of my teens, 20s, I felt like I had daddy issues. And we talk about daddy issues all the time, but I actually pinpointed it. And I said, I didn't have daddy issues. I had mummy issues. And what that meant was I saw, and it's funny because my dad had cheated on my mum and they broke up from I was like baby. And, I'd always seen my mum in pain. and I witnessed her fight her way to, provide for her children. And I indirectly took that pain on. I indirectly, as the oldest, wanted to fix my mum, wanted to make her happy. And in the process of that, I pushed aside the feeling that I had of really wanting to know my dad. And so because of this need to please my mum, I then started to get a job at a young age, very entrepreneurial. Like, I mean, I was in school and I was hustling. I was selling weed at school.
Real hustling.
Yeah, like
I
real
thought you were
hustling.
talking about like sweets or something.
No, like real hustling. I was making money.
Okay.
Like I had a fruit and veg store on Lewisham Market in South London.
This was actually fruit and veg though.
This was real fruit and veg. And and I was, a very entrepreneurial. Wherever I could, like, if I could see a way to make money, I was in it. Like I was there. And, I remember after a week of selling weed in school, I came home and, I found my mom and my stepdad at the time. They found it and they took all my weed. They robbed me. That was my first experience of being robbed as an entrepreneur. I was like, hold up, what am I going to do? Now I've got to pay the people back for the product and I've got no product. And I was like, I don't want to sell weed no more. This is too risky. I got robbed by my own mom, my own parents, like my mom and stepdad. Yeah, they took my product. But that was the first kind of exposure that I had of, buying low, selling high. And on the market stall, I was, buying and selling fruit and veg and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, this is how people make money. I didn't want to get paid once a month, like how I saw everybody else did, because I wanted to provide for my mom. I wanted to give her, she was on benefits. I wanted to be able to give her, a little bit of money. So, I did that and went through school, college, was about to go to university, and I got a job in the bank, a summer job. And by the time I was supposed to leave to go uni, they were like, oh, we want to promote you to cash manager. And I was like, okay, deferred uni for a year. And then the following year, they were like, we want to promote you to, senior, I think it was like assistant manager or something. So I was like, okay, defer uni again. And by the third year, I became the youngest bank manager in the company. I think I was like 19 or something like that.
Wow.
And I met a girl in the bank. She was a phenomenal girl. Like she was never there. And I said, like, why are you never in the bank? Like, what are you doing? I was her assistant manager. She was my manager. And she said, well, I'm buying and selling houses. So I said, okay, well, the area manager keeps coming down. I'm covering for you. I'm happy to cover for you. But we're going to have to do a little bit of an exchange here. You teach me what you're doing outside and I'll cover for you in the bank. And so she started to teach me some stuff. And long story short, by the age of 21, I had £1 million property portfolio.
Wow.
Just because of her.
21.
21 years young. Yeah.
That's listen, that can do something to a lot of people. At 21, you got that sort of portfolio. You need a lot of discipline.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, how are you managing all of this?
Listen, at 21 years young, she taught me how to get it. She didn't teach me how to keep it. Right? So when the tenants stopped paying the rent and when the tenants decided to break the house down and all of the stuff that she didn't teach me, and we lost contact because she obviously left, and she grew her business portfolio and stuff. And I saw my first kind of like hiccup in business. And, sometimes you don't account for things. Sometimes you don't, you don't foresee what could go wrong, especially when things are going well. I mean, I was on first class flights. I'm flying all over the place. I'm paying for my friends to come on holiday with me because they're all broke. So I'm like, listen, don't worry. Your girl's got it. I'm paying for us all to get in the club. I'm paying for everything. I'm literally living the life. And then one day my house gets robbed, the one that I actually live in. And I was there when they did it. So they kicked off the door. They had balaclava. They ran upstairs. They had their knives. They stabbed my ex-partner. Whoa. There was blood everywhere. Like the beige carpet, just red. I never forget it. And they had a van outside. They took everything. And he was there, called the ambulance. He didn't die, but he had like serious injuries. And at that point, I was like, this is a serious game. Like, I thought that when you buy your house and you pay your mortgage and you pay your bills on time, that's the life. But there's actually twists and turns in life that can come to either make you or break you. And so you have to be prepared for the unexpected. And, you know, that was definitely unexpected.
That's
and
crazy. Was that like a random act? Was it targeted act?
So my ex-boyfriend at the time was a drug dealer.
Okay.
And this is why it's important to know who you're around and to really, like, the decisions that you make. Because a lot of the time, especially now, I mentor quite a lot of people. People come in blaming everybody else. And I had to self-reflect and say, what was the part that I played in that? Why did I choose that type of person? And this is how I came to the revelation of this whole, you know, mummy issue situation, because I began to repeat who my mum used to be with. And, you know, at the time, the only people I saw that had money were drug dealers and like rappers on television. And so I associated wealth because there was no one from our area other than the drug dealers that had money.
But isn't that crazy? People talk about nature versus nurture and the environment that you kind of grow up in, because, you know, ultimately whatever had happened in your household had driven you to actually seek a different direction, because you were not there. You went to work because you wanted to provide for your mom and, you know, give you guys some autonomy. You had siblings to look after. And you'd actually taken yourself away from that environment. But nonetheless, psychologically, because of the environment you'd been around, there was still an anchor to the environment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if I'd have spoken to some of my work colleagues, which obviously I wouldn't have, but if I had, none of them would have been knowingly got involved with a drug dealer. Like, it's just not right. But for some reason, especially our background, we think, well, if it's, and I say drug dealer, it's weed. It's not like it's, you know, class A, and I'm justifying it now because it's like weed isn't drugs. Well, it is. But it actually is. But in our culture, we are taught that it's okay almost. So I found myself with this guy and I shouldn't have been with him. I shouldn't have been with him. And, you know, it was a season in my life where I had to just say to myself, hold up, nah, we got to stop, reanalyze. And I was petrified. I thought I was a road girl, but when that happened, I was like,
there's road and then there's roads.
Listen, I was too hood for the Christian lot, but I was not road enough for the road guys. I kind of felt in the middle. You know, I was in the middle. I wasn't as churchy as the Christians, but I wasn't as road as the road. And I had to do some soul searching and just realize, like, we got to put a stop to this. You got this business mind, but there's some issues that you got to work out. So
that's crazy. I mean, sometimes it takes an extreme situation for us to snap out and realize, you know, where our life's heading.
Absolutely.
You know, we don't want it to get there, but sometimes it takes that to actually like almost shock you out of it. So, and that's obviously, that was the experience for you. So when you had that experience, you know, first of all, how quickly did it take you to analyze, like, no, this is done? And what were your next steps?
Okay, so I don't know if I'm inhumane, but one thing that I have always had is emotional intelligence to compartmentalize situations. And I don't know where that come from. I think it's come from my dad, because I now have a great relationship with my dad. But when that situation happened, I realized I was scared. So I got therapy. But during that time of therapy, I moved back to my mum's. So this is how I began to like start renting houses out. Because at that point, it wasn't really a thing. So I went back to my mum's, rented out my flat. And then anyone that lives with their parents who are traditionally Caribbean, you remember why you moved out in the first place. And so within a week of me being back at my mum's, I was motivated to get out again. So I spoke to a lady who I'd met in the bank. She was actually a client of mine, and she was a property developer. And she said, you need to read this book. And I said, give me the book. And it's called How to Buy Property Using Other People's Money. And I love that title. I can't remember the author. But when I heard that title, because at this time I'm broke. I've spent all my money on property. the rent is not that much for me to be able to buy another house. And so I read this book, How to Buy Property Using Other People's Money. And I thought, okay, I like the sound of that book. Let me read it. And it was in 2008, you know, when the whole, apparently it was a crisis. And the book gave me some clear strategy alongside the girl Yasmin that was in the bank. And I went out there and bought a couple more houses with no money, like literally no money, from the strategies inside that book.
So how did you do that?
And that was negotiations, below market value, getting the seller to actually pay the deposit for me. Like, there were so many strategies in that book. I must go back and they need to give me residual income, because I've been promoting that book ever since 2008. And so many people have purchased that book.
Wow.
But yeah, it's part of a property magic series.
That's Simon Zushi.
That's the one.
Simon
yes,
Zushi.
that's it.
Yeah.
See, I know his name when I hear it, but I can't remember it. But I know the...
I was thinking that when you said it, but I thought, I don't know. Almost,
Yeah, I remember the title. But yeah, so I after 3 months of being at my mum's, I was out again. And I bought a couple more houses.
Incredible.
Yeah.
That's why you got to put yourself in difficult situations, because you're back. And that's why I tell people about investments. Like, you got to invest in yourself, because when you put yourself in a difficult situation, when your back's against the wall, and you've actually put your money where your mouth is, it gives you a bigger impetus to actually make sure you do what you need to ensure you get that return on your investment, because otherwise you've just wasted your money.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's essentially what happened to you. You know, listen, I don't want to.
Most people are not willing to invest in themselves. And I talk about mummy issues because when you don't see your value, you will never invest in yourself. So I'd always wanted to impress my mum. That was my whole, since I've been a child, I just wanted her to say, I'm proud of you, I love you, thank you, just anything to make her happy, to make her smile. That's the need to please almost that I had on the inside of me. So I had this crave, this need to put a smile on my mum's face and to make her feel proud. And so every action since then had been through that. But what that did was it undervalued myself, right? So now I've got this whole, you know, and especially Caribbean, you know, African parents, they boast a lot to all their friends, family, about how proud they are of their child. But sometimes they don't actually tell the child. So I'd hear all my uncles and aunties and friends say, oh, your mum's so proud of you. But she'd never told me. She'd never like up until I was about 30, I don't believe I heard her say, I love you. And so those things then, I believe, gave me this need to please. So I'm doing the most, you know, doing everything I can. And that fell into relationships, that fell into business. So now, you know, I get together with a guy. He wasn't a drug dealer, but he was somebody who was constantly a womanizer. Emotional abuse. I mean, that's far worse for me, emotional abuse. And I've been through both. So I went through a physical abusive relationship, emotional abusive relationship. And that all stemmed from not loving myself enough because I need validation from somebody to tell me that I'm good enough. And when you go through a place where you don't believe you're good enough, you won't invest in yourself. You don't believe you're worth a couple of £100 to educate yourself in a course. You don't believe you're worth having a mentor. People think that, you know, mentorship is a waste of money. People don't understand that the power of somebody who's been where you've, you know, where you aspire to get to, giving you the answers is the cheat code to success. Having a mentor, someone who can say, I've been there and this is what you need to do and this is what you want to avoid. That's the cheat code to success, but you don't believe you deserve it. That's why you're not willing to pay for it. And I had to ask myself, Nikki, what are you putting? All the money that you're making is all going out and ain't nothing coming in. You're going on holiday, you're buying a Louis bag, you're doing all of this. And what is actually an investment into this? The most important asset you have, your mind, your brain. So I had to flip the script. I said, okay, cool. I'm going to start investing in myself. And the first thing I did was personal development. I start to pay for, you know, going to events, putting myself in the room around winners, champions, and really just taking on board the advice of people that I aspire to be like. I aspire to have the results that they have, and studying the blueprint of success, you know, really, really studying it. Not like just following people on Instagram or YouTube, but like really putting myself in the environment. I'm talking the first year I decided to invest in myself, I spent over 15,000 into my personal development.
Yeah.
Rolling in now, last year, I spent over 50,000 in my personal development, putting myself in the right rooms around the right people. But sometimes we don't realize the reason why we don't want to part with this is because we don't love ourselves enough to say that we deserve it. But we'll spend that same amount of money on things that don't give us a return in income, a return in the investment. So
wow,
financial literacy.
That's so powerful. Very, very powerful. Like what you just said there makes so much sense. It makes so much, and I don't want to repeat what I've just said, but that is pretty much exactly that. But when you made that decision, I'm going to stop buying the Louis Vuitton. Obviously, you had to stop taking your friends on holidays as well. Yeah. So you know where I'm going with this. So those trips had to stop. So how did that manifest in your relationships?
Well, let me tell you this. Two things have to happen, right? If you make a decision that your lifestyle, the amount of money that you're spending on certain things is not justifiable to your income, then you have two options. Stop living that lifestyle or increase your income. I didn't stop living the lifestyle. I decided to increase my income because I like nice things. I like to go nice places. I like to eat. Hence why I married a chef. Right? So I decided on the latter to increase my income. If I want to live this life, and this is why you got to go there before you get there, right? So if you want the, G-Wagon, before you can afford the G-Wagon, you take yourself down and you go and test drive the G-Wagon because you go there before you get there, right? And then when you sit in that G-Wagon and then you go back and you sit, at that time, I think I had a Renault Megane.
Depressing.
You no longer feel comfortable inside that Renault Megane. So now your mind is going to find ways to give you that feeling again. And that's going to expand your mind. Now, what will happen as a byproduct of that, the people that don't align with the vision that you have will drop off. And again, because I had this need to please, it used to bother me. Let me tell you this, I even wanted the mean girls to like me. That's how bad I wanted to fit in. I didn't fit in with, the makeup girls and the fleeky ones, because as you can see, I like touching my face and I don't want nothing to rub off. So I'm not the makeup girl. In fact, just for you, I put my red lipstick on.
Come on. That's what we're talking about.
But naturally, you ain't got, this is the most you're gonna get, right? So I didn't fit in with the high flossing girls. That wasn't me, right? I had this need to fit in with these people, but these people weren't my people. And when you realize when you get to actually know the people ain't even the people, right? So I wanted to fit in with these people that weren't even the people in the first place, because they're one thing on social media and a complete another thing in real life, right? I'd rather be the person you see on social media. When you see me, you see the same girl on social media, you see the same girl right here. I'm not going to say something on social media and then it's different behind the scenes.
It's less stressful, isn't it?
Exactly.
When you have to start, when you
go fake it, you
two
got to remember.
personalities, you know what I'm saying? You got to start remembering all the nonsense that you said and all that. That's a lot of work.
So what up now? You say you're making 7 figures on socials and now you're saying it's 6? Which one is it? Which one is it now? You say you have 4 houses, now you say you had 2. So yeah, like naturally and this is why I said I have peace now. Because who is for me is for me. You see, when you fake it, you attract the people that are attracted to the fake you, and you got to keep up that facade to keep them in your vicinity. But when you're real, you're going to attract the real people that are attracted to the real you. And I'd rather be real and attract the people that are attracted to the real me than be faking it and attract the people that I don't even want to be around anyway. Do you see what I'm saying? So naturally, the people that I used to, pay for and stuff like that, they dropped off because sometimes... And here's the thing, I don't blame them because I was teaching them how to treat me. We teach people how to treat us. You see, if I'm the walking wallet all the time, if you're a walking wallet, who do you attract? People that like walking wallets. Right?
Absolutely.
I have a friend that when we go out to dinner, it's fastest card first. We are fighting to pay. She's like, no. The last time we went out, she actually paid the waiter before she came back to the table. So I was like, the bill came and I was like, and she's like, oh, it's already covered. I looked at her, I was like, girl. That's the type of people I hang around now. Now it's not about, you're not around me for my money. You're not around me for what I can provide. You're around me because you see me and we give, mutual benefits. There's mutual value. We have fun. I'm a fun girl. I love to have fun, as you know, right? But it's all intentional. Like, I'm not just fun with no substance. There's always something behind it. There's always a business strategy or, something happening.
Yeah.
But naturally, the wrong people have to drop off. Let me tell you this. When you start any project, when you start any vision, any goal, anything that you have to do, before you even start, you got to make sure the wrong people are off the bus. The right people are on the bus and people are sitting in the right seats on the bus. Because sometimes you can have somebody, and there's something I learned from TD Jakes, which I live by, which is knowing where to place people in your life. You have your confidants. Now, your confidants are people you tell everything. They believe in you and they believe in your vision. Okay, your confidants. They're the ones that you call them 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, and they're going to sit there, they're going to talk to you, they're going to give you advice, shoulder to cry on. They'll support your business. They believe in you. They'll even support your business even if they don't need a product, but they're buying it just because it's you. They want to spend time with you. They believe in you and your vision and your business. They believe in you as a person. Then you have your constituents. Your constituents are people that believe only in your vision. They don't care about you. But there's a joint benefit. Maybe you do business together. Maybe you're in the same department, or maybe you have a joint mission that you're dealing with. But if somebody better comes along or a different opportunity comes along, they'll be gone in a shot. And then you have your comrades. Now, your comrades, they don't care about you. They don't care about your vision, but they have a joint enemy as you. And so you join forces because you don't like the same thing. So maybe, the Black Lives Matter movement, you have people joining together just to fight with that. They hate each other, but for the vision, they're going to join together. Or you may have somebody in, a certain industry join with another person because they're going against a particular thing. But once that vision and that mission is over, don't ever think you're friends with them because they're gone on to the next mission or the next vision or the next thing. And the problem that we have is we have constituents in places as confidants. And so when you now put a constituent in the place of a confidant, you start sharing your business with them, you start telling them your life story, and then they decide to leave, you get upset because you didn't know, you didn't realize that you put them in the wrong box. So when you can understand that you have your constituents, your comrades, and you need all of them. You need your comrades as well. You need your constituent. You can work with them. You can make money with them, but don't tell them your business. Don't get too close with them. Don't think that you're going to be going on holiday with your children and your family and that type of stuff, because that's not what they're there for. And I think a lot of the time I've had to grow to this in business where I gave Conrad and I gave energy of being a confidant, but I'm getting Conrad back and I'm like,
sure, what's going on?
What's happening here? What's going on? Like, I thought we were cool. We ain't cool. You're a constituent. Oh, I didn't realize, but it's okay. I recognize who you are. We can keep it moving.
That's such a, first of all, that's a tough skill. That's not a natural skill for everyone. You've really got that. And that is something that comes naturally to me as well. But I've understood from just lived experience and from other people where I'm like, this person is not your friend, but they can't see it. And I just thought it was something that's normal, that everyone can see, but not everyone can see that. So that's a skill that you've got there. But how did you come to, what you've just said actually eludes me to this, because you've got a natural ability. So this probably actually makes sense because you also want to help people, achieve certain things in their life as well. Hence kind of come back to myself. I do coaching and mentoring as well because, there's some things that come naturally to me. But I think when you have that thing within you, there's a natural tendency, or maybe it's just who we are, to actually want to give and, you know, to want to share it with the world. I want other people to have equal success and things like that. So how did you come to, because I know you do a lot of, you know, mentoring and coaching.
Yes.
You spoke about mindset a lot. You've given me some quotes that, well, actually now they're my quotes and things like that. So how did we get there?
Okay, so I think my banking experience. So when I moved up into the banking world, I went into head office and I was a learning and development leadership coach. And I used to train, I think it was about 3,000 leaders across the bank. So they'd send me all over the world, from manager level to executive CEO. And we'd have to train them on business strategy and stuff like that. So I'm so grateful. I never knock, a lot of people knock 9 to 5. I never knock a 9 to 5 because there's so many skills that you can learn in that 9 to 5. And they taught me a lot. A lot of my principles come from there. It taught me a lot. And I learned the power of the mind, okay? The mindset and how to adapt, overcome, and win. In life, nothing's going to be straightforward. There's always going to be, you know, times for adapting. Now, when I didn't know, and this is one thing I see with my students as well, skill set placed in the wrong environment. Now, you could have the most skilled, talented singer, for example, that has the best voice ever, singing in the tube station with their hat on the floor, getting money. And then you could have the best, you know, someone who's not even that skilled, but they may go on, as you know, one of the programs, and all of a sudden they have a record deal. So not necessarily is it the skill set. Skill set's important, but the environment of that skill set.
Positioning.
Exactly. So what I was, going back to 2008, is I was skill set, motivation, high energy, with no strategy on how to get there. And so when my baby father left me, how I was coping was Facebook. So I would go on Facebook and I would give value, because I realized that if you can give value in the midst of your pain, you actually feel better. So I would go onto Facebook Live. Back then, it was just Facebook. There was no Instagram. And I would go onto Facebook Live and I'll be giving value. I'll be dropping nuggets on there. So I'll be saying, you know, but I'm speaking to myself, but no one knows this. So I'm going online and I'm going, you know, you're about to rebuild. You're about to rebuild to your next level. Do you know that, you know, your baby father may have left you today, but tomorrow this is going to happen. Tomorrow you're going to have the man of your dreams. Tomorrow you're going to build your business. Tomorrow you're going to have coaching. Tomorrow you're going to be making 6 figures, 100,000 a month. And I'm talking on on Facebook. And one day a lady DMs me and she says, I've been watching you now for 3 months. I want to buy your coaching program. Can I tell you the truth? I didn't have a coaching program. Right? So I messaged her back and I said, look, I'm going to send you the stuff. The website is under construction. And I'm going to get the stuff out to you in 48 hours. Give me your email. I called my cousin. She was real good at stuff like that. And I was like, girl, we need a website tonight. It was like 10 o'clock. And me and her sat up till like 3 o'clock in the morning. God bless my cousin. This is what I'm talking about, having a good team of people that see your vision with no hating. They just see that you have a skill set, and, you know, every person who has a skill set need a support system around them. Good people, like real good people. And we sat up, we did that website. And that's how I got my first coaching client. And I was like, okay, I can see where my pain is going to be turned into a purpose here. And, you know, from there, I have the rebuild retreats now where I do women's retreats. I have the rebuild workshops where women come and, you know, we completely do a rebuild. It's going from pain to purpose, how to really channel your story, how to tell your story, how you get back up, not in a pity party situation, but how you love yourself enough to invest in yourself, understand, you know, money, financial literacy, but also as well, how to create a proper business where you can be a stay-at-home mom, you can be a single mom, you can be somebody who, you know, looks after your parents or whatever it is and still have a profitable business. So on the back of that, we had, you know, I started to Forex trade. I learned how to trade Forex, did very well in that. You know, cryptocurrency, and I began to be that money girl. So I wanted to learn money. So that's where the money and mindset came in. So I said, you know, if I'm going to be the money and mindset mentor, I better get some money myself. So I started to, you know, because there's only so much income you're getting from these buy to let. Let's not make it, you know, making millions from the buy to let. So I'm like, okay. And, you know, one of my friends, he said to me, Nikki, there's a guy who is doing everything you're doing right now, the whole mindset thing, but he's applied the money as well, and he helps people make money. So I'm like, who's this guy? Let me follow him, Dr. David Imonitie. So I'm like, okay, let me see what this guy's doing, and he's in network marketing, and he's making money, and he's helping a bunch of people make money. So I'm like, okay, if I can get this money, I can put it in my business, and now I can start to structure some things. And, you know, within a short space of time, we did really well. You know, set up a few strategies and products within the network marketing space, learned how to trade, like for real, like real trading, real profits, real live markets.
Well, you say you haven't got a million in your gaming account.
No shade out there, right? But real markets, like real profits, real buying and selling, and real withdrawals, okay? And so, yeah, we created a 6-figure business, network marketing business. But the best part of it was I actually learned the skill set of trading, which ultimately enabled me to get out the neighborhood. So ended up, you know, up sticks and leaving to my old South London town and moving by the sea. Children in the private schools and that.
Come on,
like, yeah.
Come on, yes, that's what we're talking about. Listen, I'm honestly, it's such an incredible story. But also, yeah, where you live now. Listen, this. I don't want to expose where you live out here, but listen, hey, you lot are gone. You're missing. It's cool. But you mentioned network marketing. If I hadn't known, just because there's certain people that we hang around with within certain circles, that's how I knew, oh, what? She does network marketing. Because I'd already seen your content.
Yes. Before
knowing about network marketing. I would never, because listen, when you see network marketers, you know they're network marketers. You're like, yo, bro, just relax. Like, my family are going to hate me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, just... You know what I'm saying? But you don't come off like that. I didn't like. What? First of all, what's your impression of that? What's your understanding of that impression of network marketers, and how do you do it and have so much success doing it without being a network marketer?
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, and this is no shade to anyone that calls themselves network marketers. I'm a businesswoman. I've always been a businesswoman with a network marketing business. Okay. So I don't see myself as a network marketer. I'm a businesswoman with a network marketing business. Now, any business person will tell you, you yourself are a business person, that there's one thing that network marketing provides that every business person loves. And that is a cash flow. Okay. Cash flow. Network marketing provides the cash flow that you could then inject into your business to make other things. And I'll give you an example in a moment. But in reference to some of the crazy network marketers that you see out there right now, sliding in people's DMs, pressuring them to sign up to their program and to go get people, find 5 people to get 6 people, and all of this stuff. That's not who I am. And I'm sure you know that by now. But that's why I don't partner with any network marketing business. Okay. I'll be honest. There's a lot of people that have come to me because of my network, because of the type of, you know, people, the person that I am and the people that I hang around. A lot of people on a weekly basis, I get offers. Right. And one thing for me, integrity is very important. I like to do things that's legitimate. I like to be in a company that is doing things the right way. I also like to be in a company that is led by, you know, real people. And by that, you know, I've heard other companies have, you know, robots running their platforms and other crazy stuff. So I want to be a part of something that means something as well. It's got to have integrity, trust, unity, you know, and also a product that I believe in. So that's that. But with network marketing, it is very simply a cash flow. That's what network marketing is, right? It's not about going around getting people. It's actually about customer acquisition. And, you know, we were speaking downstairs and we were talking about, you know, Amazon and McDonald's. They are network marketing companies. But when you go into McDonald's, you go into McDonald's for a cheeseburger. When you ask for a cheeseburger, they don't ask you, do you want to franchise McDonald's? You just want your cheeseburger, right? And if you like the cheeseburger, you're going to go back and get another cheeseburger, right? And same with Amazon. When you buy from Amazon, you don't have Amazon emailing you saying, do you want to create your own Amazon store and be an affiliate with us, even though that's how they make most of their money. So for me, I look at big businesses that are network marketing companies that nobody even knows they're network marketing companies. So if I can find a product that someone's going to keep buying from me over and over again, I'm not going to pressure them to go around recruiting people. I'm just going to give you a product. And so, you know, I'm in a network marketing company now, but it's one of my income streams. Do you see what I'm saying? One income stream. Customers come to me. They come to me for their health products. I have one that helps. Let me ask you, do you drink coffee? You're a coffee drinker. I know you're drinking
Why are you
coffee.
trying to expose me?
Let me challenge you right now. And let me ask you this. How much did you spend on that coffee we just had downstairs?
I think it was like 3.45 or something.
3.45.
Like that.
And you have one of them every day, right? Let's be honest.
Yep.
Nearly one a day. You're a maths guy because I know you take out your calculator. How much are you spending on a monthly basis on coffee?
Let's say 350. So 350 times 10, that's 35. So that's 70. That's 105.
105.
Yeah.
Right? So 105. Why are you drinking it?
I don't know. It tastes good, you know.
It tastes good.
Man, I got caramel on mine, oat milk, give you a bit of extra.
Is it good for you?
I don't worry about that in the moment.
It gives you a kick as well. It wakes you up a bit.
Just the kick, yeah.
It gives you the kick. It's the kick. It's not the taste. It's the kick. It's what it does. It's the kick, right?
Yeah.
So it gives you a kick. So if you're spending £105 right now on coffee, and I can give you something healthy that tastes nice for £40, instead of you drinking that coffee, would you be willing to test it for a month?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And when you test it and you love it, you're going to keep ordering it from me.
100%.
Right. And if I have 125 people doing what you just said there, my network marketing company is going to give me $9,000 a month.
Cheers. Okay.
I ain't going to call you and tell you to ring your friends and find out from your friends. I just want to give you...
Just keep buying my thing.
There you go. I want to give you a product that you're going to love, that's going to save you money, but at the same time, it's going to do what you need. Right? Have another product. Sleep. Entrepreneurs, we don't sleep on time because we're always thinking about all the things that we got to do the next day, thinking about the strategies of the quarter, the year. Have a sleep product. 15 minutes of that, you're fast asleep, deep sleep, good sleep.
Am I going to wake up? This is what you're saying this sleep is.
Yeah, but fact, if you don't sleep 7 hours, you know that decreases your life expectancy, right? And I have one for weight loss as well. So these are things, but here's the thing. I'm known for being the money girl. So people come to me all the time, Nikki, can you mentor me on property? Can you help me to, you know, advance in my property game? I'm like, well, I've got a property course you can take, right? And now I gave you the source, right? I gave you the source.
Listen, I don't know. I'm still hurt. I'm still recovering. I'm still recovering. And this is, I was mind blown. I was blown away.
I gave you the source. This is the Airbnb course, right? Yeah. And we're going to give everyone who's watching this the source right now. Yes. Because a lot of people believe that from Airbnb, you need a house to make money from Airbnb. But you don't. Airbnb have an option called experiences, right? And when you go on there, you can set certain experiences. So for example, I was telling you, my husband's a chef, right? And so what we did is we put experiences on there that people can book him. We can do like, you know, a Jamaican cuisine. You can book and get, you know, like a musician. You can get a band. You can have a, you know, birthday party experience. He will come to you, or we will do it together. Or if you do have a spare room, you could do it in your spare room or whatever. And now you can start to sell experiences on Airbnb without even having to own a house. Now, people that are saving for a mortgage, that don't have enough to buy a property, people that are bad credit, people that the bank says no, computer says no, right? this is an option that they could do. So I've been talking about this online. People coming to me, Nikki, how do I get this Airbnb course? I'm saying, here what? Click the link in my bio. You can now purchase the Airbnb course. The company have created the course. It's my network marketing business. I'm going to get kickback and I'm getting money. Again, 125 people do that, 9,000 a month. So for me, it's in alignment with my brand. I'm not pestering no one. I'm giving you guys the value. I'm telling you, and you do Airbnb and you didn't even know that.
Shocked.
Right?
Shocked. Yep.
So can you imagine people going through this course? Now, everyone in my, my personal mentorship, they have those experiences. That is something that is natural because I'm going to be giving those gems when you're a part of the mentorship program. Anything to do with money, making sure your mind has to be right because the money won't come right. But the money won't stay right if you don't keep your mind right. So we got to make sure we wrap it all in one, right? So that's how the network marketing business supports me. Did you get it?
Hey, you need to go be a rapper or something.
Hey,
I can't even do that one because I'm lost. I'm like, how many rights do I put in? Where does that right go? That line? What's going on?
Yeah, you gonna pay me for that. I'm gonna send you the invoice in the post because you've been doing Airbnb for how long now?
Couple years,
yeah, and you didn't know about that feature. No. That's why but people are not willing to invest in themselves on a little course. It's just, it's less than chump change, but you invest in yourself in a little course like that, and you're now going to make crazy amounts of money doing something that you didn't even know how.
I was so incredibly excited because the one thing that I wanted to do when I think I told you, right, the reason I started my Airbnb business was actually so I could help coach and mentor people into how can someone make money if they haven't got credit, if they haven't got money, if they haven't got a guarantor, they haven't got that the luxuries that we've got now. Because I also started off without any of these things, right? But I didn't have the opportunity for someone to show me how to do this stuff. So that's why I wanted to go into it because I knew there was a way. And when you started telling me about it, I got super excited because the way that I teach Airbnb, no one teaches in that way. Everyone talks about rent to rent, but no one actually talks about management. Because management, you don't need to rent the property. You just need to offer a service to someone who's struggling right now.
That's it.
And then you get paid from doing that, which actually makes it easier for you to scale because you ain't got to put down 5, 6, 7, 8 grand every time to get a new property.
Exactly.
Right? So actually, those two ways align so perfectly with my vision. And I'm flabbergasted that I didn't even know that this was an option, right? This is crazy to me. And what's more crazy is that they stopped.
Timing and positioning is everything. You gotta be in. You gotta be in the zone, right? You gotta be in the network. You gotta make sure you hear about it. Yeah. They are gonna put it back on, right? Yeah. And when they put it back on, you just need to make sure I'm gonna be following up with you. Yes. I'm gonna be your accountability and make sure you get it done. This is very important. But that's the point, right? That was knowledge that you found useful.
Yes.
And that knowledge came from my network marketing product. All right. So I'm not selling you, come in, go find your friends, go get 100 people. I'm selling you something that is actually a need.
Value add.
Value add. Exactly. And that's the difference between some of the network marketers that you probably see online going crazy in the DM saying, sign up, sign up, sign up. Sometimes they may not be a product of the product, so they don't understand the value. But because I make money from the product, I actually see the value, in what it is. And, as well as obviously the trading, right? We have a trading course as well. So these things, I'm actually making money from them so I can be confident, stand there with my chest and say, these things work because I'm doing them, So that's why I say, network marketing is powerful if it's done in the right way. In everything, you get the good, you get not so good. But if it's done in the right way with really good products, a really good compensation plan with the right people, network marketing is a very feasible way of getting a cash flow. Like, tell me where you'd get 9,000 a month from a product that you don't have to create. Where?
Or fulfill.
I don't know anywhere. And that's just middle ground. It goes all the way up to like 600,000 a month.
Incredible.
So it's serious.
Wow. Listen, I can't believe the time's up already. Like, that was so insane. Great. And that last little bit there, like, anyone just listening to that and just understanding how you can generate money. Now, listen, I know they're saying the stuff might be gone right now, but coming back, you better get ready and stay close to Nikki, because once it pops again, you know she's going to be the first to drop it again, right? So, but yeah, honestly, it's been such an absolute pleasure and honor to have you in here. I've really, really enjoyed this conversation. The time has gone like, I can't believe the time was going on. Crazy. But I said to you, there's a tradition. There was a first one, set question, and we've got a final question, which is, with everything that you've done now, you should be, massively, massively proud. The things that you've achieved is really quite inspiring for anyone. And I think the beauty of it is, you're always very, very willing to share that as well. I think a lot of people should just follow you so they can get that knowledge. But with all of that being said, of everything that you've done now, like, what remains your need to succeed?
I think for me, it's about impact, duplication. You see, you're only as successful as what you've been able to duplicate in others. And, downstairs we were talking about a girlfriend of mine that, she was here and now she's there. That's my goal. I want to help at least 25 women each year to be able to make 6 figures or more, to really have their rebuild. And so that's why I've designed, the workshops. We've got the retreat, the women's retreat. Powerful. It's so powerful that I only take a selective amount, and there's an interview process to be able to get onto it. So it's not just a matter of, coming on. But my goal is to focus on, 25 individuals and really duplicate success through them, to show that it's not just a whim, that if you use a proven system, that it can work. And, I've got a couple of testimonies so far, but I've targeted myself 25 people that take on a serious mentorship program with myself to be able to transition these results into their life. Then I know that it's a system, because if it's not a system, then, it's not going to happen. So I've done it with my children as well. So I've got my children involved. And I think financial literacy plays a big part to any success, because you make the money, you don't know how to use it, you'll lose the money. And so it's mindset, and it's mentorship. And, hopefully you'll invite me back and I can say I got 25 testimonies of some people that's gone from here, and now they're making 6 figures, 7 figures. Now they got, 20 properties, 50 properties. Now they're killing it on the experiences, or now they're trading and they're making X amount of money. I want to show people that it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what you've been through, but that pain that you have and those things that you've been through wasn't for you. It was for you to be able to serve and to help others. So my goal now is not necessarily for me. It's duplication, to be able to help 25 every year, to know that the system works.
Wow. I mean, yes, most definitely. We will most definitely have you back for sure if you're happy to come back. Nikki Sutherland, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You are listening to the Need to Succeed podcast with Ibrahim Brahma. Make sure to like and subscribe for more episodes like this.